Listen up, I gotta tell you, there is something you should know. I have never really liked you at all. I cannot hide it anymore. I've been thinking about the future, trying to forget about the past. So many ways that I could change for the better. Don't
This is a true crime discussions channel. We speculate. This is all just speculation. Because it's true crime, it's for mature audiences only. There will be no children allowed, no exceptions. Everything on this channel falls under fair use. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. It's free.
Hey everyone, sorry it takes me a minute to grab my next little intro video thing. I've got too many daggum videos up here. I gotta fix that. It's good to see y'all. Let me access my live real quick and I'll shout y'all out. I'm so glad y'all are here with us today. Y'all. Good morning, Amanda, Abellis, Bad Girl, Gray Moon, Luna, Bazard, Edith, Heel, Fawny, Lori, Donna, Ann, LJ, Sherry, Hannah UK, Norma, good to see you, Sherry Thompson, Guilty of Crime. That's all I see right now. Oh, all I need is Jesus is here, Mima Sandy, Orange Rose, Kimberly, Deanie, Honeydew Pondu, Annabelle, Anders. It's good to see y'all. Anna. Okay, so I have a question that I want to go over with you guys. I want to know what is the purpose of them dropping all these bits of information for us? What is it that we're supposed to be grasping from this and understanding? So we're going to go through the videos that I put out. I'm going to start with the shortest one because the shortest one, okay, so the shortest one is they dropped a 1 minute and 29 second segment. So there's something important and we can narrow it down with that one because otherwise, why would they drop a segment that's only a minute long? You know what I mean? Like, evidently there's something important in that one for them to drop part of a conversation that was only a minute long. I'm looking for my notebook paper and pencil. Y'all might want to grab some too if you might want to, you might not. I want to write this stuff down that we find that they talk about. So there's things that are going to be mentioned in these audio interviews that they dropped. And we're going to start with those that they want us to know and take note of. What is it? What is the narrative we're supposed to be gathering from this? So we're going to try to figure it out together. Hey, Nene Nut. And I will drop the link real quick. And while we're listening to this, I will pin it at the top if anybody wants to come up. Okay, let me go ahead and play this 1 minute short and we'll write down what they're talking about.
All right. Tuesday, February 27th, 2024, 11:16 hours for OCSO case 24-011313. Can you state your full name? All right. So I'm here to talk to you today. We're going to talk about, and you're familiar with kind of why we're talking right now, right?
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell me when is the last time you were with or you saw?
Saw her, I'm going to say Sunday night.
Okay.
I heard her one day getting ready for school.
So you last saw her Sunday night about...
Okay, so we know that when she said she heard her Monday getting ready for school, that she did not. She later changes that story. And that's not new, but it is in this 1 minute clip segment. So I'm thinking that that's going to be important, even though it's not new. They have it in this segment, so it's got to be important.
At what time?
I would say 11 p.m. before she went to bed.
And you were here at home?
Yeah.
Gotcha. And where did she go to bed? Was she in her room, your room, or something else?
She actually slept upstairs with her stepdad. Mm-hmm. We have a guest bedroom. We were all going to sleep together in the same bed, but...
Okay, and then she says she slept upstairs with her stepdad. Somebody pointed out that they think she's calling him her stepdad because it would sound more appropriate than saying she slept upstairs with my ex-boyfriend, especially for, it to be a young child. And I thought that was a very good observation. Just trying to see who all came in, what y'all were saying. Okay. Anders said, yes, you can see Jennifer's inconsistencies more clear. Yes, you can. Oh, hey, Bowser.
Hey, what's up?
What's up? How are you?
I am doing good. What about you?
I'm doing good. How are you? Well, you said you're doing good. So.
You sound good. Yeah, I was just thinking, and I put out in the chat, what if they're putting all out this evidence or material to showcase that there is something probably behind the scenes that they're going to do with Jen? Because it's like, why you keep showing all this stuff where she's making all these weird inconsistencies, now this whole stepdad thing, like you were saying. I know, I almost said the wrong word. I know Sterns, I'm not going to call him his first name, I'll call him by his last name. Sterns, he said the same thing. I forgot what time interview. Was it like one of the earlier? I want to say it was one of the earlier sessions they were interviewing him where he said that too. So yeah, I think it's just like something they're just trying to use as a diversion in some way. Like, oh yeah, he's her stepdad. They've been knowing each other for years, and blah 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 blah.
Okay,
But,
so you think that they're trying to point out the stepdad thing?
I think at least with this one, because I just saw this video not too long ago when you posted it. But I think in general, with all these new unredacted, information, interviews, and things like that, I think to me it does seem like, well, maybe they do have something behind the scenes. Maybe they just want to get him first, and then go after her next. Because it's like, it is weird. Like, well, why would you give her half immunity, but then you're releasing tidbits that show either she's a really, really horrible, terrible mom on purpose or by quote unquote accident, which is still weird.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. And okay, so why do you think the state's attorney's office would care enough about our thoughts, opinions, and speculations to drop this before trial to let us know that they could possibly be charging her? Like, why do you think they feel like it's necessary to put that out to the public? What would your thought be on that?
If you want to go like somewhat, I won't even say conspiracy, but like after the whole Casey Anthony case, where I mean, in all intents and purposes, they had her dead to rights. Now they could have charged her, in my personal opinion, maybe a manslaughter, neglectful charge in some degree, because you can showcase, well, she waited for a month or something to report her daughter was missing and all this other weird stuff. And she tried to frame a Hispanic woman that had nothing to do with what was going on. So it's like that pretty much shows she knew a lot more. And even if it was circumstantial, you could at least found her, I would think, on something of a negligence or some sort of manslaughter case. And I think after what happened with that and how the public pretty much, excuse my French, but shit on the Florida, I guess the judicial system, maybe they learned their lesson, I would hope, and they're trying to like wait off and get the main guy where it's like, it's clear as day Sterns was involved in Maddie's demise and getting rid of her body and abuse. So I feel like they got that set. It's just dealing with the emotions and all the kind of shenanigans and trials and all that. But I think with Jen, they're waiting to get him taken care of and then go after her. And so I guess you can say, I mean, I could be another circumstantial, in her situation, but I think there's enough stuff to show. You said so many inconsistencies in your interviews. You lied about, you went and woke up. You saw her in the morning and all this other kind of stuff. So that's my take.
Okay. All right. Awesome. I wrote your chat. I said possibly charged in for you. And then we're going to keep listening. And obviously, to let me know to pause. If you want me to pause, let me know if it changes as we continue to go through the interviews.
Mhm.
Okay. If you've got it on speakerphone, it is echoing. So you might want to take it off speakerphone.
Yeah, I'll get that taken care of.
Okay.
I'll be right quick. Yeah.
Okay.
I needed some good sleep, and I got a new job recently. I haven't been well rested. I needed some sleep, so I asked, "Hey, can you guys go to the guest bedroom upstairs?" I knew he was gonna get her ready and.
All right. Tuesday, February 27th, 2020.
Okay, so they cut it off right there. I'm going to play it one more time just so we get the gist of it without pausing. But the point of me playing this is that because it's such a short segment and they released it as such a short segment, they cut it off right there at the end. It's something in this 1 minute and 29 seconds that's extremely important to whatever they're trying to tell us. Is it a new narrative they're trying to push? What is it? You know what I mean? G14, it was Bazzard. When Bazzard has it on speakerphone, sometimes it echoes. But he muted for now. But yeah, it's just StreamYard stuff. I apologize though. And it's good to see everybody coming in. I appreciate it.
24/11/16 hours for OCSO case 24-011313. Can you state your full name? All right. So I'm here to talk to you today. We're going to talk about, and you're familiar with kind of why we're talking right now, right?
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell me when is the last time you were with or you saw?
Saw her, I'm gonna say Sunday night.
Okay.
I heard her Monday getting ready for school.
So you last saw her Sunday night about what time?
I would say 11 p.m. before she went to bed.
And you were here at home? Yeah. Gotcha. And where did she go to bed? Was she in her room, your room, or something else?
She actually slept upstairs with her stepdad. Mm-hmm. We have a guest bedroom. We were all going to sleep together in the same bed, but I needed some good sleep, and I got a new job recently. I haven't been well rested. I needed some sleep, so I asked, "Hey, can you guys go to the guest bedroom upstairs?" Mm-hmm. I knew he was gonna get her ready and.
All right. Tuesday,
All right,
February
so that's
20th.
the end of that interview. And what I picked out of that one was that heard her getting ready Monday morning, even though we know she didn't, and slept with stepdad specifically. Cara just gifted 20 Speculation Station memberships, which was so very sweet and supportive of you. Thank you so very much. That was so sweet and so kind of you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Those went to Katie Falk, Lisa Kinney, Chess Queen 84. I like that. E Flies. Sorry. Tracy Steiner. Makeup with Jackie. I like that. Scout Sis TY Scout. Holly S. Stephanie. Sarah McKee. Osana Luke. Whit Miller. Nicole Root. Red Anvil. I like that. Stars Align. LK. Potsy. Angela. Embodied Nature. I think that's it. If you were gifted from Cara and you are aware that you were gifted, please tell her thank you. And I will grab the crazy train to pick y'all up on the way to Speculation Station. I'm going off the rails on a crazy train. Thank you so much, Cara. That was so very sweet of you. And Miss Holmes said, hello, allegedly speculating, and Bazzard. Happy Friday. Thank you for all you do. Love your coverage. That was so sweet and supportive of you. Thank you. So kind.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, that was so awesome. I told you they love it when you come up.
They love me, and I love everyone.
Thank you guys. You guys are so sweet. I love our speculating family.
Do I have like an echo or anything on my end? Because I have my like Bluetooth headphones on.
No, not now. Sometimes when you put it on speakerphone, it does, but you're good now. It's not echoing.
All right. Sounds good.
Yes, sir. All right. So now we'll jump to some of the interviews we put out. So we heard that narrative from Jennifer. I'll play the interview with Stephan, and we'll grab what's different in that one, and then we'll go to the 8-minute clip, and then we'll do the longer ones.
Okay, first I want to take a second and thank Little Red.
This was the first one I put out.
For sending me this information. If you have not subscribed to them, please do.
Miss Holmes, that was so very sweet of you, and thank you. I've got a couple of comments to read. All I Need Is Jesus said, I've heard Maddie was nervous the whole weekend, and I also heard Stephan was acting anxious that weekend. Do you think Stephan Sterns maybe threatened to harm her previously, so she might have known? I don't. What are your thoughts?
That's interesting. I mean, it would lead to why they're charging him with premeditated murder. Maybe they found suggest that he was going to, pretty much delete her early, like either earlier that week or at some point during that week, because of whatever kind of information where he felt like his whole world would have ended if it came. So that's not a bad question.
Yeah. I do want to let you know you're cutting in and out, but I heard everything you said. Yeah, I've always wondered what the premeditated was as well. And see, Maddie acting nervous that weekend, it does make you think that she was either nervous that he was going to be there, or she was with child or something and she was nervous about that. There's a lot of things that make us question that. So I think it's definitely a possible speculation.
Yeah.
Mallory Beavers, thank you so much for the support. Y'all are so very sweet. Thank you so much. Mallory said, I don't think I've ever been more emotionally invested in a case when it comes to waiting and hoping for an arrest. Jen Soto is shameful and should be in jail for endangering and failing Maddie. I thank you again for the support. That was so very sweet of you. It's weird because, yeah, she should have at least got a neglect charge or something like that. For us to not see anything at all, it makes us all a little upset and furious, I think.
It just comes down to if we committed. Well, okay. It comes down to if we were in a situation like this where we found out that our child was being abused and then unfortunately killed by our so-called spouse, lover, whatever. But then the way we act, after the fact and just saying strange things like, "Can I see the photo of my child getting abused?" It's stuff like that like any of us, even if I don't have kids, but I have younger cousins and nieces and nephews and stuff like that. And it's like, hell yeah, I want to see this mother effer and beat him up or whatever, It's like he does things that if we did it, I think we would get highly suspected and probably worth or something.
Yeah. I think if anybody else did it, they would get a charge. And you could say that they're going to use her to testify against Stephan, but I mean, and then I look at the Harmony Montgomery case, and she was in jail when she testified against him about what happened with Harmony. So why is it different in this case? Why is Jennifer Soto not sitting in jail and testifying from jail or something to that effect?
That's a good, interesting. I don't know why. I think maybe because it's just it happened in Florida and the whole case. I think it's maybe the case. That's my personal opinion, but the Casey Anthony situation, where it was like just the way she reported, her daughter going missing is not similar, but just the way she was acting is kind of similar,
Yeah. Yeah. I do want to let you know again, you do cut in and out a little bit, but I'm just letting you know, just so you know. I don't know what's going on.
Let me try if I do speaker one more time, and just let me know if it keeps echoing.
Okay, I will.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Robin. Thank you for coming in. Bella's just gifted 20 memberships. Thank you so very much for that. Y'all are shaking out the bushes and just being so sweet and supportive today. Thank you so much for that. Like, I really cannot express my gratitude for that. Thank you, guys. Those memberships went to Fred Field, Megan Bessenbacher, Tennessee Shine, Honey Bunny, Yvonne P, Hunter's Moon, Free Cremation winner. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
CJ, Karen's Best, Floss, Penny for Your Thoughts, Katie Katz, Tammy's Clips, Sean, Mandy, Scheller, Johnny the Jogger, sorry, Olivia, Chris QT, and Carolina Nana. Thank you so very much for that. That was so very sweet of you. If you guys were gifted a membership by Abellis, please tell her thank you if you are aware, and I'll grab the crazy train on the way to Speculation Station to come pick y'all up. Thank you so much. I'm going off the rails on a crazy train. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. You guys are so sweet and awesome. I was looking at Kimberly. She said, I never thought of that, Megan. I wonder what that is. Okay, I don't know. We'll have to see. Hey, Content Angel. Yeah, that is hilarious, isn't it, Abellis? All right, I'll play the video. Lil Red is the one who sent me this information, and I can't express my gratitude enough for that. If you guys haven't checked her out, please do so. I will link them in the description box below, and their channel looks like this. Also, thank you, Hio Sandra, for making this audio where we could hear it and helping me with that. If you have not checked her out, please do so. She will also be linked below. This audio has been released. Hio Sandra has got an awesome channel too. If you haven't checked her out, please do so. Hey, Jenny
Yes.
B. Jenny B said, I never got a membership one on the iPad, but I do on the big computer. Okay. So maybe that's an issue. Maybe that's going on. Basil has entered the room. Orange Rose said maybe they're planning to impeach Jen Soto with her testimony. That's a good thought.
That's what I keep thinking. Am I echoing right now?
A little bit, but it's not bad.
Okay. It could be just something going on my end. Or like you said, it's StreamYard. But yeah, I saying I feel like his defense is just gonna brutally go after her, and she's gonna, I most likely say something that's gonna incriminate her again, like previously, or at least says some weird inconsistency, and so but then it's like it's just a weird for the state to do that. It is weird.
It is. But yeah, I could definitely see the defense trying to do that, considering how many times she's contradicted herself and lied in all of these interviews and statements. I think they're definitely.
Yeah, because it does seem like initially in all the early interviews, she was doing more of the talking than Stearns until he had to go do his final really 2 interviews. But maybe that's where they're going to go at, where it's like, well, she's going to be the one in charge. You keep saying all this stuff, and then he'll say something here and there, but you'll quiet him almost to tell him, like, shut up, basically.
Yeah, you're still cutting out really bad. I don't know what's going on. Cara just gifted 20 memberships. Thank you so very much for that. Y'all are really shaking out the bushes today. My goodness. I can't believe all this support. Y'all are amazing. And thank you so much for that. Y'all really are so sweet and kind and so giving, and I really appreciate that. That's so sweet of y'all. Those went to Shell Whalen, Roseanne Cunningham, Bess C, Bear and Marshmallow Incorporated, Hunter by Dusty Pear, Jubes, Dare Stumble, Christina Reynolds, Heather Lee, Rachel, Mountain Granny, Florida Born 19, Cindy Dalton, Suzanne, Elizabeth or Betty, Blessed on Purpose, Bayou Babe, Secret Squirrel, and Celeste Manning. Thank you so much for that card. That was so very sweet and supportive of you. And I'll grab the crazy train and come pick y'all up on the way to Speculation Station. I'm going off the rails on a crazy train. Thank you so much for that, Cara. And then all I need is Jesus said, who's been a member for a month. Yep, a month. Okay. Said, crazy train. Woohoo. I'm so glad you've been with us for a month. All I need is Jesus. Today is Sub Rosa's birthday. Is it really? I wonder if Sub Rosa is going to come in. I was surprised to not see Sub Rosa yesterday. I figured Sub Rosa might be happy that I was questioning Richard Allen. All right. I'm going to go ahead and play the video. Thank you guys so much.
Released on my channel already, but it was recently re-released and the redactions are gone. Stephan talks about his role in Maddie's life, and towards the end, the officers question him about the position of Maddie's body in his car.
Central Florida, I'm sure you're aware.
Case number 24-11313. Today's date is February 28th, 2024. The time is 0016 hours. Speaking with Stephan again. Okay. So, as you guys know, they have phone, right?
Mm-hmm.
They've been going through the phone, and they noticed that there was like a lot of messages between you and.
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain to me what your relationship is between you and?
Yeah, stepfather of sorts, I guess. She thought of me as a dad, thinks of me as a dad. Mostly thinks.
Now that was really important. And again, we're going back to where he's referencing himself as a stepfather or father of sorts. And then right there, if you listen, and I'll play it back again, he says, she thought of me as a dad, and then quickly corrects it and says, thinks of me as a dad. So from that moment, I think they were on to him.
Mm-hmm. I think, man, I'm probably making a lot of echoes or whatever, but I
You're
think.
good right now.
Oh, God, thank God. Thank God. But I think, yeah, they probably thought it was weird when he said kind of like that. Cause I feel like if I was going to be, let's say I was dating someone, and if the kid did see me as a stepfather figure or father figure, I would have said, well, they see me as a father figure. Not like, oh, I guess like a stepdad or something. I don't know.
Yeah, the way he says stepdad or dad of sorts, that of sorts is, yeah. And I'm glad you pointed that out. That's really a weird way to put it. Like, what do you mean? You know what I mean?
Because Jen, I mean, she doesn't really say it in a weird way, but she, I mean, at first she says, "Oh, he's like a stepdad," to her. But then, later on in the interviews, Jen was like, he's the boyfriend or whatever kind of crap."
Mm-hmm. Yep. Smoky Mountain Mermaid, JPL, Indie Girl, and whoever else has come in. Hello, and it's good to see you. I'll play that one part again where he messes up and says thinks of me as a dad.
Mm-hmm.
He told on himself.
So, as you guys know, they have phone, right?
Mm-hmm.
They've been going through the phone, and they noticed that there was like a lot of messages between you and.
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain to me what your relationship is between you and?
Yeah, stepfather of sorts, I guess. She thought of me as a dad, thinks of me as a dad. Mostly things like, when are you going to call us? When are you going to come up here and visit? Hey, poopy head, get online. Things like that.
Okay. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. Your phone. I told you that I was gonna hold on to it, and that we would like to download your phone, right?
Okay.
Is this something that I have your consent to do, or do I need to get a search warrant for your phone?
It should be fine.
You're okay with us going through your phone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now that's another thing I'm questioning, because with that motion that scared the crap out of me and made me very concerned, saying that they needed to throw out all of the phone evidence because they obtained the phone basically unlawfully because he didn't feel like he had an option to say no. I'm wondering if they're putting some of this stuff out to reiterate that he indeed did have an option to say no. And they're kind of trying to point it out that he told them several times that they could take his phone and look at it.
Right. He could have had multiple opportunities to refuse, even though it would have been highly sus, but
Right.
he wasn't Mirandaized or anything like that. He could have said, "Nope, I don't feel like it."
Yeah. Yep. And I'm wondering if that's something else they're trying to point out. Tony said they both referred to her in past tense, and I do remember somebody saying something about her referring to Maddie in past tense. I need to find that part again. Heather, it's Saturday morning at 3:36 a.m. My goodness, now where I'm at, it's 2:06 p.m. on Friday. So happy Saturday morning.
Especially, I guess they're on Europe or Asia side or something like that.
Yeah. Annabelle said, I'm surprised he didn't conveniently lose his phone. Yeah, because they conveniently left them behind a lot.
Yeah, I remember. I think it was yesterday's video, maybe a few days ago, when one of the detectives was talking about that, and he was like, "Oh yeah, you left your phone, huh?"
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, the way he said it was like, okay, that's sus number 10 or 20 or whatever,
Mm-hmm. Rhonda said the female law enforcement officer gave him 3 opportunities to say no about the phone. Yep. Marley's mom said, did someone point out in one of the first interviews with Stephan Sterns, the male detective asked Stephan if he arrived on Saturday, and Stephan agrees, but every time after, it's Sunday evening arrival time. So confused. Yeah, the neighbor said he arrived Saturday. Jen can't remember if he arrived Saturday or Sunday. And then the parents say, I thought you went Saturday, but then they stick with Sunday. So that's always been a point of contention. And it makes a lot of people have a lot of questions on whether he actually arrived Saturday or Sunday.
Right.
Jenny Jen said, I imagine these audios with less redactions are available because the defense has them now. Just my thoughts personally. That is also a good thought process, because there has been documents released, and Lord, I just had them in my hand right before the live, stating that there's been changes to discovery, and they were giving things from discovery to the defense. So that is another possibility.
I would have figured they already had a good portion of the stuff already anyway.
You would think, right? Like, I would think so. Anders said maybe if Stephan wanted to wait for a warrant, he could have time to erase his Google Drive account, but he even gave her the phone's PIN code. Yes, he did.
That's a good point.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Ava Slim. And then lastly, before we get back to it, all I need is Jesus said Jen has had her head stuck up her backside, in my opinion. She's not even living. She was just existing, taking up space and air. It's a sad way to be,
Mm-hmm.
Hey, M Show. They said it's 6:09 p.m. here in Scotland.
Oh, we got a squat in here. That was my worst Scottish accent.
Okay, can I have the pin to your phone?
42586.
Hmm, 42586.
Looking at this picture real quick, those boxers, they are definitely on roommate number 2's bed. So I'm thinking they're the little boys' boxers. And I'm thinking that maybe they just took them to compare to Stephan's.
Yeah, because I guess they were like, well, it is weird how they have the same pattern looking underwear, but then it's like, well, the one they found in Maddie's basket was clearly a man size.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so I think it has something to do with trying to prove that. Heather Wells said there's a transcript of him arriving Saturday night, which would mean that his parents either fibbed or he drove back to their place and then left again on Sunday. I have to find that transcript. Heo Sanders said, or to make sure his DNA wasn't on them, considering he was abusing a child. That's another good possibility. Yeah.
That's true. That's true. I mean, from all my research of learning about these kind of guys, usually they stick to like one particular gender they like, but sometimes they do both. So that's a
Yeah.
possibility. Yeah.
Especially considering substance abuse sometimes is, yeah. So I don't know. That's a good possibility. I definitely could see that too.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you so much. And then, okay, so when you guys FaceTime, what do you guys talk about?
It's usually with her mom right there too. We're just chatting.
Okay. I noticed that at some of the times that you guys are FaceTiming, it's like really late. Is it normal for her to be in bed late?
Yeah.
Okay.
And her bedtime's usually around 10:30, 11 o'clock. I talk to them both before bedtime when I'm not here.
Okay.
10:30 is supposed to be her bedtime, but she gets to push it sometimes.
Okay.
But mom's always present.
When you guys are FaceTiming. Okay.
Sometimes we're using her mom's phone to FaceTime with her. Sometimes.
That's a lie. I don't think that she was always present at all. And if she was, I would question if she was coherent.
FaceTiming them both together on one of the phones.
Okay. And then yet you said that yesterday you accidentally factory reset your phone, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember what time that was?
No, it was sometime in the morning. I've been pushing off doing an update for a while.
Was that before or after you went to the smoke shop?
Before? I'm not sure. I'm not a morning person. It's a newer phone. I was doing this update. It had some sort of weird option at the bottom that said something about reinstall everything, and I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing.
Okay, can you explain to me? Where were you? Like, were you in your settings?
I was following whatever the links were for the OS update.
Where I don't have an Android, so I don't know where.
I'm not super tech.
Is it like a text? Was it?
It was a push notification that came in at the top that I had just been ignoring.
Oh,
for
like
a long
up here.
Time. Yeah.
Okay.
And then it was a. It's a boneheaded maneuver.
Okay, and then where did it direct you to?
I don't know. It took me to a page with all the stuff in the system, and I clicked something. I wasn't paying attention.
Do you remember what it said? Like, what kind of update was it?
It was like a big OS update, and it had all these options, and it was like reinstall something with all the apps and stuff. Reinstall everything, the apps and stuff. I don't know exactly what I said. I pushed it, and it started doing the update, and then something. It turned into some sort of reset or something.
She's just agreeing and not having any of it.
Oh yeah.
Pamela said they both do that thing right before they lie. It sounds like nails on a chalkboard to me. I agree. Hey, Angela Ballerina. And I think it's from them being together, like always around each other all the time. And somebody else pointed out a minute ago, if Jen's always present when he's FaceTiming Maddie, then there's no way she didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, yep, I agree with you. Another inconsistency. Yeah.
Yeah, because there isn't. And then when he said earlier, hey, poopy head, get online, that made my mind go like, okay, what are y'all doing online with each other? If you're not, because if you were FaceTiming, it would be answering the phone. If you're getting online, what are y'all talking about online? What are you doing online? What are you having her do online? Like, what are all the things?
And I highly doubt Maddie would be like that with him. Like, I don't see it.
Like, what do you mean?
Just like always saying stuff like, oh, hey, poopy head, how come you're not talking to me or some crap like that. I highly doubt that.
Yeah, I think it was more of a compliance out of fear type thing, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Poor child.
Yep.
Not sure how I did that.
Okay.
I was half asleep, and
then when you came back to get your key fob, what did you do when you got here?
ran inside, got the key fob, ran back out again.
Okay, where did you park?
Right up here, I think.
Okay. How long would you say you were inside your apartment for?
Literally long enough to run in, grab the fob, and come back out. So.
Okay, and then what did you do?
Most.
What did you do when you came back out?
Got back in the car and went back on the morning mission.
Okay. The camera has you in the complex for 12 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Does that seem about right?
Yeah, coming into the complex, driving around, parking, getting the fob, coming back out. Sounds about right.
Okay. And then you leave.
12 minutes is a long time for him to come into the parking lot, park, run inside, grab the key fob, and then leave. It seems like it would take him maybe 4 to 6 minutes, not 12.
Mhm.
What did he do? And he says he ran inside to get the key fob and it took him about 10 minutes. That's a 30-second type thing. A minute at most if it was upstairs.
It's all these little, it's just all these little lies or statements that just they don't make sense. Like, okay, if you knew you left it there in your room, why did it take you that long to find it? Like you just left it on the nightstand or whatever.
Right. Because he used it the night before when he went out on his 3:30 to 1 or 3:30 to 4 a.m. drive. So if you had it at that point in time, there's no way you could have lost it that quick. Like why did it take him so long?
Same thing with his phone. Like if he left his phone at the apartment, I'm trying to remember. Did he? So when he did leave the phone back, and when he went back, did he get the phone? I don't remember if he ever said if he did get the phone or not.
He did not get the phone when he grabbed the key fob, but he got it when he came back, and Jen was supposedly at her appointment.
Okay.
And then went back to the vape shop. Sorry, my throat. But then we have the interview where he says that she slept all day and he didn't even she didn't even go to the blood appointment, which is weird for me, but I would think that the detectives would verify that she had that blood appointment and was there that morning. I think if they hadn't verified that, then she would probably be in jail, but I don't know.
That's why I keep thinking, mate. I think she did go there, but I don't think she stayed there very long. That's in my opinion. I think she did it to make it look like she went there, and maybe she could have said like, "Oh, like she went there, and maybe something happened where she was maybe inside for who knows, let's say 15 minutes, and then heads out."
Right.
So it's like as like some sort of like alibi, like, "Oh yeah, I did go to this doctor appointment. Yeah, I had to go at this time, and I went there, and then I did my thing and left." But maybe I guess it would have to hopefully they went and talked to the clinic and then see like, the cameras, if they have any cameras, how long was she there, and if she actually did get her blood drawn and everything else.
Yeah, it's interesting that you say that because of the way she references the vape shop. Like, oh, he went to the vape shop. You can go check the cameras there. She does it twice in these interviews. Like, they're trying to set up an alibi.
And I noticed too, she never said that for herself. Well, I don't think she said that. Like, oh, the cameras saw me going here and doing that. She always says it for Sterns, never for her.
Right. Yep. Never for Maddie either.
Yep.
Yeah, Kalisa, I agree. So much of the story is stupid. Lori Green, I've heard that they were in the same parking lot for about 5 minutes, but I've got to verify that with the maps. I've still got to do work on that, and I haven't had time, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
To leave, what time would you say you dropped her off at the school, or not at the school, but in the area?
My estimate was sometime between 8:20 and 8:40.
Okay, the camera has you leaving the complex at 8:31.
8:31. Okay, so it must have been closer to 8:40 then.
Okay, and then after you dropped her off, did you go directly to the smoke shop?
I did. I went directly to the smoke shop. Waited. It was supposed to be open, but it wasn't. I waited a little while to see if they were just being slow about turning on the open sign. They weren't, so I went home at that point.
How long do you think you waited?
5, 10 minutes maybe.
Okay, so if you drop her off at like 8:40, how far is the smoke shop from there to where you dropped her off?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure how many minutes. How far?
Did you go anywhere else after the smoke shop?
Sorry. I don't know. I don't think I went anywhere specific. I was just driving probably in the direction of home. But I don't remember stopping anywhere specifically.
And you were there for 5 to 10 minutes.
Roundabout, I think.
Okay, so like let's say you drop her off at 8:40. We don't see your car coming back south until 10 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you doing between 8:40 and 10 o'clock?
Cruising around a little bit.
Okay, but I asked you earlier, like what you were doing, and you said you were there for like 5 or 10 minutes, and then you came back home.
Yeah, well, I went to the smoke shop, like I said.
And during that time period is when he's up on top of the parking garage roof or wherever in the parking garage, moving her body from the front seat to the trunk. During that 8:40 to 10 o'clock time period, because he moves her to the trunk at 9:40.
And I just realized something now that I caught the time frame. So he said he supposedly got to that church area by 8:40-ish something or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't he have dropped her off remotely a little bit close if she was alive, remotely a little bit closer to the school, so she didn't still have to walk a distance from the church to school, because the school opens at what, 9:20 or 40 or whatever it was again in the morning?
Yeah, they could have hung out at school. His excuse is that she had friends there and wanted to hang out with them or walk with them to the school. I mean, and obviously we know she was deceased, but that was his excuse. It's like he wouldn't have pulled up at the school because she's deceased in the front seat, and I guess he wouldn't want that to be on camera. But then you find out that he pulls into the school parking lot and pulls back out at 8:10, which he never admits to, but we find it out through the paperwork. So
Right. So she was already in that car by then anyway. I don't know if she was in the front passenger seat, but yeah, that's the weird thing. Like, okay, if you want to say she was alive, why wouldn't you drop her off a little bit slightly closer to school? Even though the whole stupid hoopty car thing, that's such a huge lie. But yeah, it's like, well, why wouldn't you just drop her off a little bit? So then she
yeah.
wouldn't have to walk so far, even though I know they said the church is not that far from the school.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of shit that don't make sense and made him look sus AF from the beginning.
Right. Especially the time frame was like, well, yeah, the school opens still like later on at 9 o'clock, whatever in the morning. So it's like, why would you just drop her off that early still?
Yeah. She saw him when he put the leash on the dog, and I think that's the last time she saw him before the blood appointment. Then he calls her while she's at the blood appointment and apologizes profusely for leaving his phone at home, he says.
Said. But I may have been meandering around the area, but I made my way home.
Okay, but I'm asking you earlier, right? And even like the first time we talked to you, you're not telling us that you're like, just cruising the area, like you're coming home. So I need to be able to explain to my supervisors why there's such a time gap.
I mean, I don't know what to say. It was just a normal day. I didn't have anything important to do. The smoke shop was supposed to open soon, so I made my way over there. Wasn't any particular rush, though.
Okay, but can you help me explain to them, because I don't know the explanation or the answer to this question, okay? So can you help me explain to them why there's such a delay in the time?
No, can't explain it. I wasn't going anywhere in particular. I wasn't doing anything in particular. Just making my way to the smoke shop. Waited for them to open. They did not open. And then I left.
Where did you go from there?
From the smoke shop, I went home.
Okay, the smoke shop is like 10 minutes from here, right?
15, 20-ish, something like that.
Earlier you told us it was 10 minutes.
Time is not a strong suit of mine. I'm guesstimating here.
I understand, but I have to be able to explain, where you were for an hour and 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
And right now I can't explain that.
Okay. Smoke shop was supposed to open close to 10.
So we don't have proof that Jen Soto went to the blood appointment, but like I've said, I don't think that she would still be walking freely if she hadn't gone to the blood appointment, because if she didn't go to the blood appointment, then that would prove that she's lying and she had knowledge, and that's at least a charge for lying to the cops. But then again, I mean, what she did would be at least a neglect charge too. So I'm assuming they validated it. I don't know. I don't know if she didn't go and then they're going to arrest her after the trial for Stephan. I don't know, but I would assume that they have validated that. But again, I don't know.
Right. I mean, like I said, I think that's why I kind of go with my theory that she probably did go, but it was just like, well, we don't know how long she was there.
Yeah.
She probably stayed maybe 15-ish minutes, or maybe I forgot how long was it supposed to be, the appointment, from 10 whatever to what, 11?
She says she left at 9:30, got there between 10 and 10:30, and was back home at 11, between 11 and 11:15, I think.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's like she could have stayed at best maybe 20-ish, maybe 30-ish minutes, and then it's like, then she left. But I guess, yeah, they would have to still determine if she actually did get the blood drawn, or she just sat, in the office, or just doodled around there for a little bit.
Yeah. I don't know.
I waited. They did not open. And I came home.
Okay.
What time specifically was it supposed to open?
10 o'clock is when it's supposed to open.
JPL.
So why'd you go at 8:40?
Like I said, I didn't go exactly at 8:40. I went to the smoke shop after I dropped her off.
But even if it was 9 o'clock, that still would have been an hour before they're supposed to open.
Mm-hmm.
So why would you think it would be open?
I didn't think it would be open. I was hoping I would get there early enough and wait for it to open.
So you would have waited an hour for it to be open?
I did not wait an hour. I got there maybe 20 minutes before it opened, 15 minutes before it opened, and just sat and waited.
But then you're seen coming at 10 a.m. when it's supposed to open, already coming down.
Leaving, because it was supposed to open at 10 a.m. I waited a few minutes after 10. They were not opening, and that's when I left.
You did not wait a few minutes after 10.
What do you mean?
At 10 a.m., you were seen coming down southbound on Jongyang Parkway at the intersection of Jongyang
At 10
Parkway.
a.m., I was still in front of that shop waiting to see if they were going to turn on the open sign.
Liar.
And he's lying, because he was coming down Jongyang Parkway at 10 o'clock in the morning, leaving from putting Maddie's body in the trunk from the hotel parking deck garage. But of course he's going to lie, because he don't want them to know that he was anywhere in that area when he put Maddie's body in the trunk.
And notice how his tone of voice gets more, it's aggressive but desperate in a sense.
Yeah.
When the male detective was like, no, we saw the camera doesn't show you anywhere that time frame.
Yep, absolutely.
And I can see, I could definitely hear the aggressive panic, at least.
Yep. Yep, you sure can, and I'm glad you pointed that out.
Okay, but if you dropped off at 8:40,
Hey, Little Red.
and you said you only waited for a couple of minutes at the smoke shop, why would you still be there at 10?
I waited to see if it would open, and they did not open.
We got that part. But you said you were there for a couple of minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then you said you were there after, a couple minutes after 10. So that's
It doesn't make
doesn't make
sense.
sense.
I apologize for that. I'm trying to help you out the best that I can, but
Right. So like, if
Miss Jim Morrison, do you know what interview that is where she says that she didn't talk to Stephan all day until 4:50 p.m.? Because I don't remember that. I remember her saying that he called her at 10:18 a.m. and says that they did not go to McDonald's because Maddie didn't want to, and that he dropped her off at the church. And then at 4:50, she calls Stephan and is like, Maddie's not here. I thought you dropped her off, while simultaneously telling Bestie we dropped her off, and that's where it goes from there. So if you know where it is, if you let me know, we can definitely review it and go through it and see what it says.
I thought that they already got in contact. Yeah, like at least way before that 450.
I remember them being in
Yeah.
contact as well, so I'm not sure, but I can definitely look into it.
Oh no, because remember Stearns was saying that they were supposed to go to BJ's or whatever, but he was still out and about. But then he comes back to the townhouse and then links up with Jen, and they were like, he said that she was just lazy around, sitting around the townhouse until it was time to go get Maddie.
Mm-hmm. That's
So
how
then
I.
yeah, so it was like at least several hours before the 450. But then I guess she called him when she got supposedly, when she went there and checked to see if he dropped her off.
Yeah. JPL, thank you so very much for the support. Wow, that's amazing. Thank you. JPL said, bless your heart for keeping on this case. The more we listen and the more we catch, you would think law enforcement would be doing the same thing. Yeah, I think they are, even if they aren't putting it in public, and they've got quite a case against him. And I'm sure they're gathering a lot of evidence. Thank you so much for the support and your comment. I really appreciate that. Yes, I will play the bullshit boy for you.
A bullshit? A bullshit? A bullshit. A bullshit.
Yeah, all of it is bullshit. It is a bunch of bullshit. Thank you again, JPL. That was so very sweet of you.
you drop her off around 8:40, let's say give or take 10 minutes, you make it to the shop around 9, the smoke shop, and you sit there and wait for a couple minutes for it to open. You said you waited for maybe 5 or 10 minutes, right? Does it make sense that you're still there at 10 o'clock?
I was there at 10 o'clock.
Okay, so what did you do before that?
I dropped her off and I made my way over. Not a direct route, but I made my way over there.
Did you stop anywhere on your way to the smoke shop?
I don't think so.
How do you not?
Do you
Whatever.
have problems with your memory? That
I love that. Do you have problems with your memory?
Right. I'm like, how would you not know?
He's saying that. He says, I don't think so, because he did stop at the parking garage and put her body in the trunk. And so he's saying that in case they come back at him and I'm like, okay, well, we have you like they did already coming down John Young Parkway, or we have you in this motel garage. And then he can say, oh, yeah, I did. I forgot about that, even though he didn't. He's trying to lie and cover it up.
There's something else I just thought of right quick. Okay, I think what got, at least with Stearns, even though we all suspect Jen probably was maybe involved in a lot of stuff, but at least with him, what if he just got fucked up when it came to timing? He thought that he can do all this driving around kind of crap to make it look like he's doing this and that, but of course he was panicking, nervous, wasn't paying attention to the time all the way. So this is how I keep forgetting the female detective and then the other guy. This is how they're catching him off. They're like, well, you're doing this at this time, or why would you wait that long to go to the vape house? Well, what were you doing? A vape house, the vape shop. Like, what were you doing? So I think that's what I take it as. Maybe he was panicking a lot and was getting time mixed up.
Well, he never mentioned. Yeah, I can see that for sure. It dawned on me while listening to this that he never mentions going to the parking garage at 9:40, and
Hmm.
again, of course, he wouldn't. Because he was putting her body in the trunk. So, and in the way he says things like, I don't think so. I don't remember doing that. Like he did that. I didn't go anywhere else but the vape shop and then back to the house until they called him out and were like, okay, well, we have you coming back to the complex. And then he's like, oh yeah, I forgot the key fob. So he continues that with the I don't think I went anywhere else in case they call him out and are like, well, we've got you here. This time he can be like, oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I take Ativan and my memory's messed up and all of the things.
Right. Yeah, that dumb excuse, just like Jen. Hmm.
Hmm. Yep. I backed that up a little bit so we can hear her be like, do you have memory problems? What the hell's going on here?
She did call him out right there. That was good.
I loved it and I was here for it.
You said you waited for maybe 5 or 10 minutes, right? Does it make sense that you're still there at 10 o'clock?
I was there at 10 o'clock.
Okay, so what did you do before that?
I dropped her off and I made my way over. Not a direct route, but I made my way over there.
Did you stop anywhere on your way to the smoke shop?
I don't think so.
Do you have problems with your memory that you can't recall what you did?
I'm extremely ADHD. I'm sorry. So just details start to get fuzzy after a while. Even the times I'm giving you are my best guesstimates here. I didn't have my phone with me at the time, so I wasn't aware of exactly what time.
There's no time on your car?
Transpiring. There probably is, but it's not my car. It's my parents' car.
How certain are you that you were outside of the smoke shop at 10 a.m.?
90% sure.
Whatever.
What makes you think that you were there at 10?
Yeah. Southern Cat said, I wonder if Jen told Stephan to go to the parking garage because she knew there would be cameras. Well, I think that he went to the parking garage because he thought there was no cameras in the parking garage because that's where he puts her body in the trunk. But they did get him on camera doing it.
But I'm about to say, there are cameras around parking garages. Not all the time, but I mean, there's cameras everywhere in this country. So it's like, why didn't he not think there would be a camera somewhere showing either you entering the parking garage, exiting it out? It's like,
yeah, because in the movies, when they show him pulling up under a bridge or in a parking garage, that's where they switch out the criminal or switch out the money and they never get caught. That's what his stupid ass was thinking.
True. That's a good point. That's a real good point.
Mm-hmm. JPL said, you have to love how divine intervention works. Something stopped Stephan Sterns in its tracks with that flat tire. What a blessing that there was a witness. Maddie wanted to be found as soon as possible and Stephan to fry for this. I agree.
Yeah, I have heard some people saying paranormal aspects to this, or just the high strangeness, like because okay, you commit a serious murder of a child allegedly, and then you're caught in less than, like, I know I used to write down in the chat, almost 2 or 3 days, somewhere in that time frame, and then of course they find her body not that long after. So it's like, and yeah, I don't know. It is something interesting that people have been saying. Maybe it was a paranormal aspects to this in some ways.
Yeah, I think so. I think there was definitely some divine intervention. Goodness, I can't speak. Grish, saw that you popped in the chat. Hello.
Ooh,
Grish has
nice.
a wonderful channel. I love his perspective and his editing skills. Grish said, regardless if Ativan or benzo excuse is real or not, they're admitting their benzo addiction. It's their number one priority. I'll be right back. Sorry about the noise.
I'll chat. Hey Grish, I love your work. Yeah, I can see that, man. And that, I definitely do believe that they were pillheads. Definitely Jen.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh no, I was just seeing chat too, who's still gonna chat.
Okay.
But yeah, but I was just telling him I agree with the medication thing. Like Jen clearly I think is a pillhead.
You think so? I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't want to speculate in substance abuse. You know, a lot of people suffer with that. I have in the past, so I don't want to down anybody for that. I would say if you are suffering, please get help. Um, I think that there's definitely a heavy reliance on medication in this case, and whether it was prescribed or not, I don't like it. I think a lot of things were missed in this case.
Hmm.
If we're going to go with Jen Soto did not know or have any idea of what was going on, it's because of all the medication that was going on, that she was taking, that she was prescribed. I don't know about the unprescribed, but
Hmm.
and it's just in my opinion solely, it's she was on way too much medication, and somebody should have looked into that before all this happened, in my opinion solely.
And I was to say, do you think that's what her her lawyers or whatever her representative has, like whatever she has right now, would they say, oh, because my client was heavily medicated on all these kind of stuff, she couldn't possibly have any knowledge? But then I guess people be like, well, why would she? I mean, I understand that people have medication where they have to have it and they have
Right.
children, but like in this situation, it sounds like you and to me, just like she was really heavily medicated. If it was like that bad, was her why wasn't Maddie's family, I guess, getting involved to where if they had concerns like how are you going to take care of this child when you're heavily medicated? It's like almost every day.
Right. They might try to use it as a defense. She can't get in trouble for it as long as everything was prescribed. Now, I've
Mhm.
seen counterfeit medication as well. If they can prove that that is counterfeit medication in her glove box, then she would definitely be charged for that.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know. Like there's a law, especially here in North Carolina, that's like if you're in a house and somebody's overdosing and they're dying and you call the ambulance, you won't get charged for the drugs in the house. Now, I don't know if it's something like they found that if it is a Xanax bar in her car and it's counterfeit and they found it, but they're like, okay, well, we're not going to charge you. But she's not calling to get help for Maddie. Maddie's already deceased. If they found it later, I would think she would have got a charge for that at least. But again, I
Mhm.
mean, I would think she would have got charged for a lot of things that she didn't. So I don't know.
Real. Yeah. I guess to me, it's like, yeah, I just personally think if I knew someone that, at least a family member that was that heavily medicated, I mean, I would be concerned if they have a young child because, like, well, if you're that heavily medicated and you're just living by yourself with a child, I mean, that's concerning.
Right. It is. The
And then,
doctor should be held more liable. I don't know. I
and
don't
then
know
I
who
was,
would be held
yeah,
liable.
right. Because then when he wasn't there, Stearns, it was just Maddie, her mom, and then the roommates. Well, I guess depending on which roommates they had in the time frames when he wasn't there, if like in the time gaps when they so-called broke up. So that I guess that'd be my concern. Like if your family knows that you're a heavily medicated person, and then maybe there were no roommates at certain points, and maybe Juan wasn't charging. This is like I said, my theory that he wasn't charging a lot, for Jen to stay at that townhouse. How would anyone be, not concerned or would be concerned that this woman is heavily medicated and she has a young child to take care of?
Concerned, yeah, but to what extent? Her family's not going to turn her in because that's their family. The people renting a room from her are definitely not going to turn her in because that's where they live at. Like um, they
You're
need to
right.
have a place to stay. I think they would if they knew Maddie was being abused, but not necessarily for her being over medicated. They might just try to talk to her. But I also know people having to be on an extensive amount of medication because of their disability. And if they stop taking that medication, then they don't collect disability because they can prove that they don't need it. So I don't, it's
Mm.
a sticky place to be in with that.
Yeah,
I don't know her medications and all of that either. So I don't know.
that's true. This, like I said, this is all my kind of
Yeah.
speculation. I mean, and I guess we'll see. Well, I guess that will come down to if she is on trial and they bring up her medication and everything else. So,
If we're talking drugs, I'll call it. I don't want to talk about drugs, but if you want to
sure.
come up, the link is pinned. I know that when I was using, I had no business taking care of anybody's children, and that was not. Yeah, I didn't, but
I would love to hear Gersh's take on certain things too, if he does
Oh
some
yeah,
documentation.
if you want to come up and talk, you're more than welcome. I need to start doing a college show, but
I saw lights on inside the place. It looked like they were coming to life in there.
Mm-hmm.
So it looked like they were about to open.
Mm-hmm.
And I was waiting to see if they were going to turn on the open.
Do you remember if there was anybody inside?
I couldn't see inside from the outside. But after I came home and then went back to the smoke shop again later, when they definitely were open, I stopped in and got my vape juice finally. I don't remember the name of the guy working there, but he was like a skinny guy, short, skinny guy.
When you came back for the fob, did she go inside with you?
No, she was in the car still. She was asleep.
Where in the car?
Passenger side.
The front seat.
Correct.
Okay. Did she at any point go in the back of the vehicle, like in the back seat?
No.
So she was in the front the whole time?
Mm-hmm.
Awake or asleep?
She was asleep.
Okay.
She was.
That's another important part of this interrogation, or this interview that we didn't have before. They ask him, specifically if she ever got in the back seat and if she was asleep the whole time. Why is that being released now and when it wasn't released before?
Exactly. And then, well, I guess another thing is, okay, you woke her up. If she woke up this early just to go get supposedly McDonald's and change her mind, and she was still sleepy, why would you? Wouldn't it make sense then to just keep her in the car? If she was alive, of course, keep her in the car until it was kind of getting close to the school to open, and just let her sleep in the car. And then, like I said, either if she wasn't to be seen in your car, then you just drop her off a little bit closer to the school so she doesn't have to walk far away if she's that tired. Like, that's something that I always thought about. Well, if she's clearly this freaking sleepy, why would you then just let her get out of the car and then just wait or try to go to school and she looks like she's really tired still because you woke her up so early in the morning?
Right. Yeah, I mean, we're logical people trying to think of somebody doing an illogical act and trying to make it make sense. It's never going to make sense. And we know that it was all just a lie because he needed to have excuses for why he did what he did. So he did what he did and then came up with the lies he needed to tell to fit the narrative.
Yeah. For me, I'm just thinking about my time in middle school and high school. And I mean, whenever we did wake up, of course, we had to go to school and everything, but there were times where we just slept a little bit extra, but we still got to school on time.
Yeah, I slept on the bus and then hung out with my friends in the commons area. So, I mean, a lot of it just doesn't make sense. Lori, I think Maddie was seen in the car when he went to get the key fob.
Yeah.
Because she would have still been in the car. He didn't put her in the trunk until 9:40 or 9:43, I believe, is what the paperwork says. I've got to get me like a big, huge whiteboard so I can write all these things down and stop having to try to recall them from memory. I've got like 17 composition books, but I have to flip pages and things, and I can't find everything all the time.
You should do that. So it'd be like Sunny in Philadelphia, the meme with the conspiracy board. Yeah.
That would be me, the cigarette and everything, with all the red lines and documents and
Wedding is like, look.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Grish.
What's
Hold
up?
on.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
How y'all
Hey.
doing?
Good. How are you?
Well, all right. I was trying to find my password. I couldn't find it. Now I'm on my computer and it's already there. What were you just saying about the tire that dropped off at the school part? I missed that.
So I was saying, I always thought it was just weird how he said, or him and Jen said, well, she wanted the McDonald's early in the morning. Her school opens at 9:20 or 40ish or whatever.
Yeah.
He says that she's been asleep in the car still while they're doing the so-called McDonald's run. She refuses. He's still driving around. And then I'm like, well, if she's clearly sleepy, if she was alive, and tired, why wouldn't he just wait until it was closer to the school opening, then drive her to the school, but then so-called let her out because she doesn't want to be seen getting out the hoopty, but just get close enough to the school so where she won't be late and she's still got at least a little extra so-called sleep. And it never made sense that they did all this just to wake up that early in the morning and she didn't want the McDonald's, but then he drops her off at, what was it, like 8:40, he said, or something like that, at the church.
That was hella weird to me. Like, so this person is so sleepy that a 13-year-old girl is so sleepy that she falls asleep as soon as she gets in the car, like she's 2 years old, and then you wake her up from McDonald's. No McDonald's. Who says no to McDonald's? Go back to sleep. Then you gotta wake her up to be near the school, but not at the school because you're embarrassed by the car. But then that brings me to the car part. If she said that she doesn't want you to bring her to the school, wouldn't she be awake to make sure you don't do that? And wouldn't, like, when she first said that, if she said that, which I don't believe, what did y'all say in response to that?
Great question and great points.
It seems like whenever there's something that they're trying to I'm talking about Stephan and Jen are trying to convince the police of when it comes to what things that Madeline wants, her way. It's shit like that. But you don't ever see anything else that's normal, like your own room with walls. And walls mean they touch the ceiling. That's what makes a room. Like, stuff like that. Oh, I know this. If I were to say that to my parents, like, oh, don't drop me off in front of school, you're like, you all right, walk.
Yeah.
Or if you see what I mean? Like, it would definitely have a response that would be memorable,
Right, because a normal parent would be like, why don't you want me to drop you off in front of the school? What is it that you don't want me to see? I'm definitely dropping you off directly in front of the school, and I'm probably going to stay there for a couple minutes to see what it is you don't want me to know. That would be my
Exactly. Yep, I agree.
And I knew like that sounded like BS. And then when I covered this in one of my videos about how Jen's sister was telling her mom, like, she said, "Cuántos otros niños está 8:30?" Like, well, how many other kids are there at 8:30 in the morning?
Oh, wow.
I remember that video. Yeah. And I thought that was interesting. I also want to say, Gersh, I really love your analysis of, I guess technically that was their first interaction with the police when they went to her mom's job, and just how the cousin that you say were in the shorts and everything, that cracked me up. But he reminded me of a cousin I had in Cali too. So, but anyway, it was like, that whole interaction, just like her family was just staring at her and Sterns, is the way they were acting, especially when she couldn't find a freaking photo of her daughter, a recent photo.
She had to search.
Less than 24 hours after her birthday party, no one sent you a photo. That just shows you the depth of how ostracized Jen is, and her family only is contact, pretty much, in my opinion, is in contact with her because of on the strength of her daughter. And it's like no one sent her a picture all night. No one asked her how her new job was. No one sent, nobody sent her a picture during the party, after the party, didn't bring her any food after the party. I'm Cuban, that would not happen unless someone really doesn't like you. And it just wouldn't happen. Like, bringing you food. You eating a pub sub? No, you're eating rice.
Yeah, that's a great point. Sorry, real quick, Bad Girl, thank you so much for the support. That was so very sweet and kind of you. And she said, just wanted to say how proud I am of you and the hard work you have put into your channel, sending my support and loyalty. Loyalty is everything to me, and we are family. Thank you so much for the support. I apologize for interrupting you.
That's what I was saying. Like, it's every small detail that Jen says, like, it just somehow has a just a cultural connection. Like, no, this wouldn't happen like that on a Sunday, a family gathering, and you're eating a sub. No, like, either that's not true, or they really don't like you. Everybody eats.
We gotta get on the school bus.
And I was going to say, I'm originally from California, but I grew up, in a multicultural area. But I had Hispanic friends, and I
Mhm.
can definitely verify that. It was like they're very big into family. I
Right.
was invited to some of my friends' birthday parties or one of their relatives' birthday, or whatever, and I had, I always enjoyed the 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 family camaraderie. That can't even say camaraderie. Thank you. And it was
Right.
like I always liked that about the Hispanic neighbors or whatever that I had. So I agree
Yeah.
with you. Like I thought that was weird how, and I've always kind of thought that Jen she kind of really was the black sheep of her family for whatever reason.
But to hate her to the extent that like you're not even giving her food, because now that you mention that, like I remember my friends' birthday parties that were Hispanic, they would send me with food. Like when I
Yeah.
was a child home, like here's some
Hmm.
food, take it with you. So that is weird. What has happened to make them hate Jen so much? What is the deal?
My opinion on that is if she lacks any kind of ambition, like any kind of self improvement, like she doesn't keep a job for more than a couple weeks. That's definitely not good. Um, I hate to say this, but her being, I guess they say bisexual, like she says bisexual. I don't
Mhm.
believe she's bisexual. I believe she's a lady. That's what we call a lady. And and it's on the. I mean, no one will say anything about it, but it's not really. It's kind of frowned upon, dependent. Like I mean, my family doesn't. They're not gonna say it, but they I know like my dad's Cuban, my mom's black. So like but some members of my mom's side of the family, they just they're different.
Mm.
I was when they have to be around each other when I was younger, you know, it just wasn't really, they're not gonna say it out loud, but it's just not understood well.
I,
Yeah.
I, I can, yeah, I can agree with that. I saw Sarah did a gift. I didn't know if you want to do the train thing.
Oh, I highlighted it and told her thank you. Thank you for gifting a Speculation Station membership, and I'll grab the crazy train to pick y'all up on the way to Speculation Station. Thank you so much, Sarah.
But yeah, I was just gonna say I can relate to that, coming on my African American side of the family. Or I'm mixed, but well, it's a mixed family. But anyway, yeah, it's frowned upon with certain relatives,
Yeah.
that are of a persuasion.
Yep.
Actually, I don't really tell that many people because it's just personal thing. But my sister was another side years ago, but it's my sister now, and but I love her and everything like that. But it took years for people in my family on both mom dad side to accept it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a thing it seems to be very common in minority communities, just to say that.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. Definitely.
okay, I mean, I think it's deeper than that though, because we know that they didn't like Stephan either. So do you think that it's the fact that Stephan didn't keep a job, or do you think and the fact that Jen didn't keep a job, or do you think it's more of they knew something was wrong and they didn't know how to point it out, or they tried to tell Jen and she wasn't having it? What do you guys think about that?
Uh, well, I've always kind of thought, like with the whole thing with Deb, I think if Deb and Chris knew that there was a weird sleeping arrangement, I kind of have a feeling that either Jen's family might have known, or maybe Juan, maybe he could have, because he was there for a while, and maybe he could have mentioned like something like he thought that maybe it was a weird sleeping arrangement. If whatchamacall, I don't feel like saying his first name, but Stearns, every time he went over to visit, like maybe he thought it was weird that they all would three of them sleep together. And I'm assuming Yolanda, like I said, reminds me of someone's friends I knew that are Hispanic. Most Hispanic moms I've known, they would not put up if some weird was going on between, like, they said, let's say like their first granddaughter or something like that. Like they would be very weirded out about something like that. That's the ones I experienced that I grew up around.
Yeah, I agree. I think one of the things from if trying to look at it from Jen's family's perspective, they look at Stearns and it's not just like if you have a job or anything like that. They just look at your whole personality, and if they feel something that's off, they'll just say, I don't know, about this one. But I think it goes into Jen being, not just bisexual. I think she kind of says she's bisexual, so her family doesn't think that they completely lost her, So she finds male companionship, and I think one thing, especially in a Latino community, is once you have a child, it's like, okay, all right, we that's what we need. So she has a kid, and she was trying to keep Tyler along. Tyler, that situation how that went. So she finds male companionship. She had the first her husband, and then that ended, and so she's finding. I think she wants male companionship because she has someone to take out the trash, but she doesn't want the man.
Yeah,
She doesn't
I
want
mean,
everything that comes with it.
yeah, that explains why she kept stepping around when they weren't dating, and she said he was just a friend. So yeah, that definitely makes sense.
Well, then it also makes more sense now when she brought on herself. No, the detectives never, asked or anything like that. She brought up herself with the whole, well, my mom taught me never to trust men. I don't really trust men. And then, she said that she allegedly was
Essay.
abused by a man. Yeah. And, it was like, she said she brought it up in what was that, the second to last interview when they finally the one detective that I liked, the black shirt one, that he kind of did get on her a lot more. But yeah, it was like she brought that stuff up, and then the whole Woody Allen thing. It was like all these weird things that they never asked her that. They were probably asking about the sleeping arrangement, but she brought up these weird statements like, "Oh, I don't trust men," or the
Okay.
Woody Allen thing. And it's like, well, what? We didn't ask you that. You just brought that up yourself.
Yeah, the Woody Allen thing. I actually right now, like I'm working on a video on some bullshit that Ray Hughes said, and like about Jim being groomed, and I focused on the Woody Allen thing, and I thought, if I were dating a woman and she had a daughter and she said some shit like that to me, I would lose it. I wouldn't lose it. I'd just get up and walk away.
Yeah, if I felt that way, like I needed to say something, if I felt so strongly enough that I needed to say something, that I'm concerned about a situation like that, I'm about to reevaluate my life and my significant other, and he's leaving. That's
Right.
just
Like, and if you don't trust all men, just like you said at the end of the Woody Allen comment, did you say that to Stephen Young? Did you say I'm always I've no, but since she said I've always told Stephan that I'm afraid this will become a Woody Allen situation, like that means you told him at least twice. And what did he say in response to that? You
good
see what I mean?
Yeah.
That's literally saying I think you are, you know you know what I'm saying, like that kind of accusation is all bets are it's a wrap.
Yeah.
Yep.
So she says stuff, but like the claims about the what is it, what would you say, like the car, like don't, like embarrassed by the car, the Woody, like these are things that you just don't say and they just fall on deaf ears. They have to have a response for it, and that's why like some of those things aren't really true.
Yeah. It's interesting to because it would be very interesting to know what responses were said to these things.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things.
But then it's just fascinates me that from her interviews, and then like I said, I've seen other interviews with other killers or whatever, and it's like they'll say like, doesn't it make sense that this happened to the detective or whatever? And they're like, well, okay, sure, but then they want them to keep talking more, and I kind of wish they did maybe had her talk a little bit more. But like I said, the guy, the black shirt detective, I think he did a pretty much better job than other ones where it was like he kept asking her, the whole sleeping arrangement is weird. I've never heard anything like that. And then she's trying to explain it like, oh no, it's everyone does something like that.
Which other one are you talking about?
I want to say it's that second to last like official video of her getting interviewed, and he's the detective on, I guess, the next to the wall where the camera. The people have said that the camera, not the camera, the clock wasn't working. That one with the black shirt, the blonde, he had like green pants, and yeah, he was the only, the really, in my personal opinion, the only detective where he was like just hitting her like, that is a weird sleeping arrangement. I've never heard of that before. I won't even do that with my children. But Jen was acting like, or trying to explain to him like it's normal, or it's just a normal thing in our family, between me, Maddie, and Stearns.
There's nothing normal about that.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I mean, it goes without saying, but if you, how does that start?
Mm-hmm.
There's no way ever, like as a man, I would, if I'm with a girl, if she has a, it's not happening.
Right.
All, if I'm dating a girl, she has a kid, I'm not going over her house. I'm sorry, I don't play that. Like I mean, because weird things happen where their fathers come back or whatever.
Yeah.
But like but Stephan's starting to stay over there, and before he had his own room, he's staying over there and he's sleeping in her bed. And it's like, y'all all three together, like y'all just met.
Mm-hmm.
2018, that's what she said. But she met him in 2017. That's when I think she was 100 miles an hour on those Zans. No, this is the point I wanted to make about that. Like, I think, and I gotta get off because I gotta finish this video and stuff. But like, the whole thing about them talking about, oh, I was so loopy on this and that. When someone says something like that, they're telling you, even if they do have a legitimate prescription, that they're taking more than what's recommended. Right? So, in my opinion, Stephan, who's they hired by his parents or whatever, a staffing agency or whoever, Jen talks about her mental health as an excuse for things. One thing I do know and about those type of predators is if this person has a potential addiction, they will, like give her one, like, oh, you ran out here, you can have one of mine, but not say I literally got 1,000 off the dark web. And gradually she keeps wanting more, and she's probably paying for him. She loses the job, and now she needs him around in order to get that. And then she offers herself up. Clearly he doesn't like women, and so I think by the time that stuff really started happening, she was 100 miles an hour. And I think that's why they moved to Port Charlotte, because she needed him nearby. And I hate to say it, Madeline was the exchange for that. And I think Jen, I look at her face, and that's a Zanny face. Like, it bloats out your face, and she's doing the Botox too. She doesn't know that the Zans, and that's what it's doing to her face. But if you look at a younger picture, Jen, she doesn't have the potato effect.
No, you can look at the video where they were supposedly like in the little marriage thing, and she doesn't. Her face isn't like that.
Nah.
I mean, she looked healthier, in my opinion, like seeing those old photos and videos of her.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that you say it like that, because when I was younger, I've talked a few times about how my daughter's father groomed me, but that's what he did. He started me off with, like, I wouldn't do drugs, and then he would say, oh, I've got an Oxycontin, and then we would get in a fight, and I would leave, and he'd be like, I've got another one, and he kept on. He would have a whole bunch, and he would string me along, and that's how I got addicted to substances. Unfortunately, that's what they do. That's how they get you, and they get it to where you're addicted to it, and you always have to come to that person, because that you don't know anybody else. You go to that one person, and they keep on, and they push the boundaries until you've got a situation like that.
Yep, that's the way it works. But those people like Stephan Sterns, it doesn't matter what drug you do. They'll find that drug and act like they use it too, but they really don't. They just have this huge supply. And like, at me personally, I have multiple drug felonies, so like I know, like I understand how people work. And one of the red flags is if someone wants to buy a lot of drugs suddenly, and they don't have any use for them, they're doing it for that purpose. And from someone like me, like I mean, obviously I don't do that no more. But like if I were to have met someone who did that, we're we know that this person could be a predator of some type.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? That's a
Yeah.
red flag for a distributor.
Yeah.
It's someone who doesn't use something wanting a lot for no
Mhm.
reason, for not consumption, not for redistribution. Is they're hoarding it to get someone with it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's Stephan Sterns, in my opinion.
Yeah,
And
I can definitely see it.
and before you go, Gersh, I wanted to ask, and I've asked some other people personally than other people I've been chatting with on different channels, but is this really possible that this is Maddie is his only that we know of, at least to say, victim? Or do you think this the way he does stuff in my person in the way I've researched these guys and serial killers and stuff like that, how they act, like is it possible that there are more victims or at least early proto victims?
I wouldn't be like actually like in person abuse. I kind of think maybe, but like you don't know Stefan's because it looks like Stefan gets to their victim through their guardian, right?
Mm.
Mhm.
So it could be she could be, but I think he's savvy with the internet. I
Mhm.
think he's savvy with the dark web stuff. He probably has done try. He's probably tried, but
Mhm.
I don't think Stefan can can do that unless he has consistent presence around and can, you know,
Mhm.
like there's I'll give you an example. There's one dude that one of my friends grew up with, and he we didn't know, and he was like an acquaintance of mine. We didn't know like the dude was married too, and but he would say very weird things. And then when his wife like left him, found out that he had pictures of her little sister. You see what I
Mm.
mean? So it's like he's not yanking people off the street and it or maybe like through the internet, but he goes to people that are close. And I hate to say this, it's just like it's so foul, but like he
Mhm.
moved to Florida after his wife left him and moved in with his friend who had 3 girls, all under the age of 5. He's doing 25 years now.
Oh God, poor
They,
baby.
Wow.
in my opinion, he gets close to people that he already knows for a while, and then it's just patience because I guess you know.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you're close to somebody in that child's family, and so therefore it's like, oh well, this person trusts me, and so you should trust me too.
Right.
Yeah.
And the guy who let him move in felt bad for him because his wife left him, but didn't know the whole story.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Most of my friends didn't know the whole story, what happened, but as soon as I heard he got arrested, I got that paperwork because I don't play, and
Yep.
I couldn't sleep for a week
Oh
after I
God,
heard that.
I'm real.
that's so
Yeah.
horrible.
Yeah.
Like those dudes, they operate differently,
Yeah.
and yeah, that's what.
Could, I just feel like I said because I research just growing up. Well, I actually wanted to be like a cop years ago, but I was into criminal justice classes, and, starting my college years, and I was just always fascinated how the predators like him, serial killers, and other type of criminals, they really are. I've always said like not all of them, but most of them are like the perfect actors and actresses, and where I say they know how to chameleon themselves in society or various aspects of society or people around them, and then they can figure out who are going to be their next victim or whatever. And and that's my route. I say like they're to me the most scariest and perfect actors or actresses. They are way better than the people you see on TV and movies because they have the years of experience of and practice at least most of them
Right,
sliming their way into societies or whoever they're gonna do with the crime.
right. Like criminals in general, um, are one thing, but like those type of predators, the in general, the criminal element will fish out those people that, like the Stephan Sterns, because they I mean, obviously for what they are, but like the one of the worst things is to find out that someone is aligned with someone like that, because that type of association is radioactive. You know what I mean? So just how can I put it? Like when if you're in like my thing, I used to all right, sell stuff. Okay, so like I never looked like what people thought one would look like. You know, and most of the biggest ones drive shitty cars and they're rich and all that stuff. You don't look like what you do, but that definitely has to go for someone like a Stephan Sterns or something like that. But I don't know. I mean, like, I can't. Like they have to have some kind of way of knowing who each other are. They have you know, they associate with each other. Like I wonder about the choir teacher. Like I want to know. I want to know if they were alive. Like, because that's too close.
Yeah.
That's too close.
Well, they said there was another guy that got caught up at that school who was another predator.
There's a secretary, and then you've got the predator
Right.
that was putting money on Stephan's account.
Yeah, I read that article. That guy did something back in like '93 or something. But they support each other. Like if I try to, when I saw that, I was like, that's weird. But then again, I have friends who've done different things, and I put money on their books, and I might not agree with it. What they did. I mean, it's not like wild, like that type of stuff. It's not so sexual stuff. It's definitely you're not done. But I have friends that have done bad things, and it's like they're in jail, and I send money to them. But I don't know how to word this,
right?
But there's a it's hard to see how they band together like that, and it just I'm getting so mad. Like I really just want to just off them all, like because they're so slimy. They're so slimy.
Same.
And it's like if you, God forbid, I don't know if y'all been arrested before, but I'm telling you, these people even have a smell. They have a smell, yo.
Well, I've been arrested, but I've not ever been around somebody convicted of that, because I guess because I'm a female, not many females are.
I had it. There was a dude on my docket once for one of my cases, and where I'm from, when the day you get arrested, you kind of have a similar schedule with preliminary and discovery hearings and all that. This dude had this. I can't explain the odor, but it's not like regular BO. It's a very faint odor, but it is what it is. And he was a Stephan Sterns type.
Wow.
Exact situation. And I didn't go to jail for one reason. He got charged with doing stuff to a 9-year-old and a 7-year-old. Situation like girlfriend. He moved in, did that stuff. I was facing like 8 years. He was facing less time than me.
Oh man.
For 2 pounds of tree, and he did that.
Yep.
So they didn't like. I saw the judge after his case. His case was before mine. I definitely wasn't going to jail. But I'm giving y'all TMI. But I'm just it's contextually valid. But
yeah.
I don't know. But I'm gonna let y'all go. I'm gonna get back to. I just wanted to talk to y'all. I had about 2 cents about stuff, but I'll be watching your live while I'm working on my video. Y'all be safe.
You too.
Man.
All right.
If anybody hasn't checked out GRISCH, I pinned his link to the top of the comment section, so definitely check him out. He's got some good videos.
Yeah, I got one up later today, and it's gonna be good too.
Look forward to that. Look forward. And I was just gonna ask if on your channel, man, if you ever do like a call show or something like this, I'll definitely pop up and chat, because once I saw your first video, and I don't know if it was like a recommendation to go to the whole true crime stuff and everything, but I've been hooked on your channel, man. It's a really good thing, and you know,
A
you're
lot of
doing a good, yeah, you're doing a good thing, man.
Thank you. I appreciate y'all. I'm thinking about doing one pretty soon. I hate to say it, my friend caught a second-degree murder charge. He killed his fiance in Florida, and I'm getting the paperwork on it. And it's going to be the first case where I don't really have a lot of insight and understanding it, even though I know the guy. And it's, but I want to talk to, like, you know, the victim's family first, so it doesn't look like I'm the defendant's friend trying to capitalize off of it. And if I don't really get the response from them that I think is sufficient, I'm not going to do it. But I'm still going to do one, probably like in a week or two.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good.
Y'all be safe. Y'all have a fun weekend. All right.
Take care, man.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. That was cool.
That was really good. Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the conversation. That was awesome. Abellis gifted 20 memberships. I know Sarah gifted a membership, and then Bad Girl sent the support. And I do want to say I really appreciate that. I was trying to be real respectful and not interrupt too much. But thank you so much, Abellis, for the 20 gifted memberships, and for everybody else. I did want to make sure to shout y'all out again, just to give you an extra bit of thank you for that. And the 20 memberships that Abellis just gifted went to Teresa. Hit the like. I like that. Please hit the like, by the way. Diana, Miss Jessica NB, LB, Paula, Family Gal, Southern Soul True Crimes, Cringe, Wendy Baldwin, Retired Midwife, Catherine Ann, Iha, IHA, Love, Leon, The Beat, Montez, blah, 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 Rio, Lee, Wendy, Sherry, and Hell's Furby. Thank you so much for gifting those memberships, Abellis. If you guys were gifted a membership from Abellis, please tell her thank you. And I'll grab the crazy train on the way to Speculation Station to come pick y'all up. Thank you again, Abellis. That was so very sweet of you. Yeah, that was a great conversation. I really enjoyed that.
It really was. I mean, yeah, like I told him, I really did like his channel, and I like the way he goes about it. And yeah, if he does call shows or panels, I'll definitely hit him up and discuss about not just this case, but anything else too. So
yeah, I pinned his link at the top of the comment section, so definitely check him out. Fawny, thank you so much for the super sticker. That was so sweet of you. Thank you so much for the support. That was so very sweet.
But I get what he was getting at when it came to why the possibility of why Jen's family don't like her, or even Sterns too. And I figured a lot more it was a little bit of a cultural background too, because like I said, I grew up in an area and situation like that. But I think it was just they probably saw signs or something to the effect. Juan, I feel like, was the closest, you know, in that situation where he was living with Maddie and Jen for a bit, and I think there was something he may have noticed, and then he told the mom. And like I said, I've met a lot of Hispanic moms, and they're they're really into the whole family situation, and that's probably why Jen. It always seemed like to me like Jen didn't want to be around her family that much, especially her mom. Like she didn't want to be, and then she wrote her like journal. I kind of wish I mentioned that to him when he was here, but yeah, she wrote in her journal like she didn't like her mom, or her and her mom always got into fights or whatever. So,
yeah, I think that Juan might have. I think that something might have been said out of line. He's heard Stephan say some things that were out of line, or Jen say some things that were out of line, and that made them both. Her family say, you know, why did he just say that, or what did she just say that? And then they break up, yet she's keeping him around, and that's going to make them even more be like, whoa, what's going on here?
And that group.
Sorry, real quick, Ever Love Me, thank you so much for the support in the super chat. Ever Love Me said happy Friday, guys. Thank you for that. Happy Friday.
Thank you. But yeah, and then that gets into why I always keep questioning. It seemed, you know, from everyone else that knew Maddie when she was alive, that she did better when he was never around them. She was happy with being with her grandmother because she was far away from that asshole. And it was like, why did Jen decide to have Maddie that time frame when she knew supposedly she would be this and that tired and supposedly drugged up and everything else? But why couldn't she just let her her mom take her to school when
Right.
the mom's job is literally not that far from the school? That's the concept that where it's like there's something definitely going on between the family where it would not make sense to just not allow your mom or your sister to do that.
Yeah. It's weird because, I mean, first she had off the next 2 days, and second, she wanted to stay with her grandma, but Jen said she wanted her home because she wanted to spend time with her, and that was the whole reason she called Stephan.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't make sense. The aunt lives literally in the next neighborhood over. Like, it really, I mean, how are you not spending time with her when she's right up the street at grandma's house? It's weird.
That's why I kind of hope if both the current female roommates whenever they be on eyewitness stand, I'm assuming probably for both trials, who knows, but I do wonder if either the state were asked him or probably defense, did they see any kind of issues between Maddie and Jen? Because I think there were issues going on between them. Jen was kind of downplaying it in interviews, but I personally think, like I said, I think she was probably abusing Maddie either verbally or mentally.
Yeah, I could see that. It's hard when you're raising a teenage girl, their hormones and things. I know my mom and I fought like cats and dogs. And so, I kind of try to chalk it up to that, but it does seem like there's something more going on. Like,
Mhm.
and with the comments, like people coming up and saying in the grocery store to Jen, I'm so sorry you're going through this, and she just can't handle their emotions. I've always wondered how many times Jen Soto told Madeline, I can't handle your emotions. I can't
Mhm.
handle what you're saying. If Maddie ever told her what Stephen was doing, if she would have even believed her, or if she would
Mhm.
have thought that Maddie was acting out or something, it makes me feel very sad for Maddie.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I just can't see myself just imagining being trapped in a hell house, literally, for
Hmm.
years like that. So it does get it. I mean, it gets to my heart so many times. That's why this case means a lot for all of us. And I'll keep saying again, I appreciate what you do and how you want to just make sure that whatever happens, that she does get justice. We all want that in the end.
Yeah, very much so. I'm gonna continue playing this interview. I again want to say thank you to Grish for coming up. That
Hmm.
was really cool,
Hmm.
and thank you
Please
as
come.
well, Bassard.
Yeah,
You're
that's all
always
good.
very much appreciated.
Oh no, thank you. I appreciate that.
Y'all are so sweet. Sometimes I don't know how to respond to all of your kindness. Um, I don't know how to express my gratitude accurately. I really appreciate every single one of y'all and have so much love for y'all. Thank you all so much.
Content. We had gotten up.
How was she positioned in the front seat?
Um, leaned back in the seat, just kind of conked out, napping.
Where was her head in relation to the seat?
Against the seat, I think. Against it. Just
Was the seat
So,
leaning?
and again, this tells me I was muted. So again, this tells me that they've already seen the camera footage, and they have, obviously, because they've already caught him out for going south on John Young Parkway at 10 o'clock in the morning. But they're asking it specifically how she's positioned in the car, and we know that she was slumped over to her left, leaning over the center console with her mouth agape. So, and he's still sitting there lying. Like they're asking him they are asking him these questions specifically to see if he's going to continue to lie about it, and they're just notating all of his lies in these interviews.
Mhm. And then I do wonder the moment when him and Jen were in the car together. I do wonder, did he ever discuss any of this with Jen? That he could tell that they're questioning me a lot more specifically and all this other kind of stuff. I wonder if that's when the whole situation well, we don't know if Jen knew supposedly that he left the hotel and everything else, but I don't know. It has this feeling like, what were they saying in those hours in the car and they knew the detectives were either spying on them. Like they had to know they were being spied on. So it's like, I wonder, did he mention to her, "Oh crap, they're on to me," and then that's when she did the whole lawyer thing with his dad.
Yeah. It's a good question and a good
Mhm.
thought. I wonder too. And the 4 hours in the car where they said they talked
Mhm.
about absolutely nothing. Okay.
Yeah. I know.
Okay.
It's like, I know a liar, and it's like that's a lie right there.
Yeah. And why is Jen lying for him?
Leaning back
The
or
seat was leaning back. Yeah, she had leaned the seat back so that she could recline and.
okay. And then I need you to try to, refresh your memory. When you got the flat tire on 192, what could you see around you?
It's 192. It all looks the same. I'm so sorry. I'm drawing a blank as any specific businesses or names.
Mhm.
Did you pull off to the side of the road to a business?
I pulled off into a side plaza, like one of those little strips along the side. Dug around for my spare and my jack. Thankfully, we had both.
What direction were you coming in?
I was going towards John Young.
Okay.
So that direction.
And it was a plaza. You don't remember any businesses that were in the plaza?
I don't. I was focused on the.
What
wheel
color
that
is the
was-
plaza?
Oh God, I have no idea what color the plaza was. I'm sorry, didn't even register a detail like that.
Okay, remind me again what you were doing on 192.
I was looking around at different game shops. One of my card games just had a release on Friday, Lorcana.
What card are you talking about?
It's like a trading card game. And they had a big release on Friday, so I wanted to go around.
What's the card though?
I'm sorry.
What is the game?
It's called Lorcana.
Lorcana?
Yeah, Lorcana. It's a trading card game made by Disney, kind of like Pokemon cards or Magic the Gathering.
Okay, and you stopped at what shop?
I stopped over by Target. I was going to see if they had any. I then went up and was going to go to a place called House Rules Games. That is on 192 and Oak Street.
Mm-hmm.
I did not make it to House Rules Games because I got a flat tire.
Okay, which Target did you go to?
The one down on 192.
192 and what?
Is there more than one down there?
I don't know. I'm not familiar with the area.
It's the one down there by the Walmart, I think. I'm not sure what the cross streets are. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I wish I could be more help. I'm so sorry.
Oh.
And how long were you changing your tire for?
I'm not sure how long it took.
We lost
I got
Bazard.
back here by like 2:35, 2:40, because I was trying to get home to go with her to go pick up from school. And we needed to leave by 2:30. The flat tire made me late for that.
I saw some of you commenting that like if she was going to be there an hour and 10 minutes early, or 2 hours early, however early she was, she got there like 2:30 and the school gets out at 4:10 or 4 o'clock or something to that effect. Why did she not just wait the 10 minutes for him to get back? Now, I think that it was purposeful that he didn't get back until that time. I think he did that on purpose so he didn't have to ride with her to the school.
Mhm.
But it is interesting, and it seems to me, I would like to know if she got there that early every single day, or if it was just that day that she got there that early, because it would let me know if she's trying to just establish an alibi or not.
Obviously, that's the same mindset I have too. But I'm gonna get ready to head out. But it was
Okay.
nice to be on panel, and just like I said, I always enjoy being here and discussing anything with you on these insanity cases sometimes.
Yeah, I really enjoy you coming up too. I enjoy everybody. I'm going to finish out this interview and that'll probably be it for us today. And we'll continue going through and seeing what's changed and what's different for sure. But I do appreciate you coming up and I definitely appreciate your perspective.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, until then, take care and everyone else be safe and love ya.
I love you too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. It's weird to me also that this birthday shirt is over the hamper. And they take it and test it. I wonder if she was unfortunately abused in that shirt. I've stated that before. I think that he did abuse her that night, unfortunately. Okay.
And there's absolutely nothing that you can remember about the plaza that you got the flat.
No, I don't remember color. I mean, it's all just kind of brownish, I think, along there.
And you said when you got your flat, you were heading towards JYP from 192.
Yes.
Okay, where's your flat tire at?
It's in the trunk.
Okay.
I've got the spare on there right now.
Yeah, I saw the spare. I don't think I have anything else. Your wife has my phone number. If you can remember where you got your flat tire, just have her send me a text message, okay?
Okay. I'm so sorry.
By this point, she's referencing Jen Soto as Stephan Sterns' wife, and she knows that they're not husband and wife. They're not even boyfriend and girlfriend by this point. I do believe she knows that. So why does she do that? Does she do that to see if he's going to correct her? Does she do it because he called himself Maddie's stepdad? I don't know, and I question that.
That's okay.
I know the details are important, and just the way our brains work with ADHD is those things can get fuzzy.
Are you on any medication?
I'm supposed to be. I have not been medicated lately, so
Okay.
I'm not a morning person. I'm very time blind on the best of days and forgetful. So I understand that none of that is helpful in this case.
Okay.
I'm pretty sorry.
I explained to your wife that we're gonna have the apartment secured for the rest of the night. Okay?
She does it again. She reiterates your wife. Why?
Why? So the investigation is not going to happen tonight?
It is. So, I explained to her, me and him have been out all day, right? So we're going to go home, but just because me and him are going home doesn't mean that there isn't other people out here, okay?
Mm-hmm.
We have another unit out here, which is called Violent Crimes. They're out all night. So they're going to keep looking. We also have some of our detectives that were sent home earlier to get rest because
I don't remember hearing that violent crimes part before. This is when they're saying they're going to search the apartment, and she says violent crimes. Now, I'm not saying it wasn't in the interview, but that just stood out to me. Would it be normal for a different unit to search a house? Why is it violent crimes? Is it violent crimes that does the forensics for every situation like this where they need forensics to come in? Is it the violent crimes unit that does it? Or do they have different units that do it? I wonder.
because they were going to come and relieve me and him, right? So we're going to take like shifts with the investigation because obviously if we're exhausted, we're of no use, right?
We're all exhausted too.
Right. Does
My
that
brain is mush.
right? And we don't want that to happen with anything that we're doing. So what we're doing is we're taking turns with whatever needs to be done. So we'll brief whoever's coming next, and then hey, this is what we did. This is what needs to be done. Okay. The reason we are keeping your house for the night is because
against all logic said he never asked why is violent crimes involved either. And that is a good point. Joyous said, I don't remember hearing violent crimes as well. Yeah, I don't remember hearing that before, but I could definitely be wrong. I'm not sure. Rhonda said Stephan can't use being drugged up and unaware as an excuse. He admitted that he hasn't taken any meds. Yep. And then in the very next interview says that he's too messed up on Ativan and all of the things to even recall simple places like where you went the day prior. Simple things everybody would be able to recall.
Because your house cannot be completed by one person, right? We don't do that. We have a unit that comes and takes pictures and does whatever they need to do with the house. After a certain time, it's only one person working in that unit. And she can't do it by herself. So people come in at 8 o'clock in the morning. So when the rest of her squad comes in, they're going to come in and, tackle your place as a unit so that they can get it done quicker. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And then I explained to her too, because it was lost in your car, we are going to also tow your car, okay? It's going to go to our sheriff's office, which is at 2500 West Colonial, okay? She said she needed to get her medication. You're not under any medication.
I have medication in the house, though, that I do need to get my blood pressure meds and anxiety meds as well.
Okay, so I'm going to try to figure out where all of this stuff is. Where's your stuff at?
So she reiterates you're not on any medication, because at this point in time, he had stated he wasn't taking any medication. But then all of a sudden, he's too messed up to recall or remember anything. Donna said Stephan Sterns came back with Maddie to get help from Jen on where to put her. I think that's a possible speculation. Thank you, bad girl, for dropping the Maddie emoji. I lost that one. Rhonda said, I think violent crimes unit covers a broad range of cases, but I think that they already knew Maddie was unallowed and the police didn't want to tip Stephan and Jen off. They want cooperation. That's a good point. That's a good point. Hey, Michelle, good to see you. Hio said, in the state of Florida, you can work up to 30 hours while getting Florida disability, I think. Don't quote me, but you have to do your own research. That's interesting. He didn't even say violent crimes. Why? Right. And the tranquilizers, he says, is from like 1960s. Trazodone has been around since then. Trazodone actually was originally made as a pig dewormer. And then they found out that it can make you go to sleep. I took it once, and I would never take it again. They sleep paralysis. I had sleep paralysis. That's what it was. And I was like, yeah, not doing that again. Moss Mommy said it's pointless talking about what Maddie might have said at McDonald's, etc., because we know she was not alive in the car. Yeah, I agree.
Upstairs in the guest room currently.
In guest room number 4?
Yes. And it's on top of the mini refrigerator.
Is it on? Does it have your name on it?
Yes, all of it.
Okay, where does she keep her? Where does she keep her medicine?
In her zipper case on her nightstand, I believe.
In the downstairs.
Correct.
What zipper?
It's like a little sort of brown zipper case. It's on her nightstand. So right on top of her.
Okay, so I can just bring the whole thing out.
I think it was pig dewormer. I could have been wrong, but yeah, I think so. I need to look at the hotel key locking thing. I know she went outside at like 10 o'clock in the morning to walk the dog. But I do remember seeing the key thing. And then there's a document in that stuff that says strange tolls. And I think me and Hio talked about it, but I need to review that one again too and see what they're trying to tell us with that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if there's any bottles on top of the nightstand around it too, but you might want to grab those. Yeah, just.
Is there anything that you can recall that we haven't asked you? I know we asked you like a whole bunch of questions earlier, and we just asked you like a whole bunch more.
I don't know. My brain is so mush right now. I barely slept. I haven't eaten in 2 days. I'm trying to think of questions for you.
Can I see what shirt you're wearing?
What's that?
Can you see what shirt you're wearing?
Yeah. Just a blue shirt.
Okay.
They asked that because they already knew he changed the Deadpool shirt. And notice the Deadpool shirt's not in any of the photos. Where is the Deadpool shirt? And Miss Jim Morrison said, when your child is lost and they're shutting down your house, you can't tell me that Jen didn't ask questions. It's not like Maddie's hidden underneath the bed. Right. And they sat in that car for 4 hours and never asked any questions about why they were searching the house or nothing. Yeah. And then she makes the statement, I think Maddie was strangled because there's no mess upstairs. And then is like, I don't think there was. You said there wasn't, right? Trying to cover up that she supposedly didn't go upstairs.
Remember what shirt you were wearing on Monday morning?
I believe it was this shirt. I'm still
Nope.
wearing the same shirt.
Nope.
Have you showered since then or anything?
I showered the other night. No, not since yesterday. Sorry, your hair is even still greasy.
I know you got a cut, right? From
changing the tire.
Do you mind if I see your arms?
Yeah, go for it. I haven't changed the tire.
Do you mind taking your sweater off?
It's cold, but yeah.
I love how she's not having none of his
I changed
BS.
the tire in like 10 years. I made a rookie mistake. Got my thumb too close to the jack and the frame, and it slipped. Pinned my thumb in between the frame and the jack. I got lucky. I panicked and pulled it out, which you're not supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a lot of pain. I panicked.
And flip your hand over. Can you see the other arm?
Mm-hmm.
Anders, that person claims copyright on everything. Like, I would highly advise not to ever use any of his stuff. Sometimes he puts out good stuff and people try to get me to grab it, and I will not. I cannot. He copyrights any and everything that anybody uses. I don't know why. I hate that. I think that as content creators, we should share. And as long as you say where you got the information from or where, the video you're watching came from, nobody should do that. I hate that. I hate copyright stuff. If you're not giving credit to the creator who created it, then yeah, I could see it. But just because somebody plays your stuff, even if they give you credit to copyright them, nah. Even if they're talking crap, like even if they're like, I think this is stupid, I think that's stupid, or whatever, it doesn't matter. I mean, they're reviewing you. You might not like what they say, but it's not a reason to copyright them, in my opinion.
One of my parents used for a tire iron.
Do you mind if I take a picture of the cut you got?
Yeah, go for it.
Let me see if the flash works. Okay. Can you go like this again?
Mm-hmm.
And then flip it over for me. And let me do this. Flip it over, please. Okay.
Is it good?
Yeah.
Really? That's
She got
interesting.
her stuff. So let me go get your stuff, and then you guys will be good to go. Okay, where are you guys gonna head? Do you know?
No idea.
Okay. Can you have your wife text me an address of wherever you guys end up
Yeah,
tonight?
I think my dad's on his way down too.
Crackerjacks has been a member for 3 months. Thank you so much for being a member and hanging out in with the Speculating family for so long. Crackerjack says, justice for Maddie. His day will come, precious. I hope so. I hope it's sooner rather than later.
Okay. Let me just verify with your wife.
Again, with the
pills, and that's it. Okay. And then your phone, they're gonna work on it overnight, so you'll probably get it in the morning. Is that okay?
Okay.
Okay.
If you would like to get these photos and this audio and so much more in the Stephan Sterns case and other cases as well, you can get them on my Patreon. I also want to thank Lil Red and Sandra for your help with this. Thank you for watching this video all the way to the end, and have a wonderful evening.
Okay. So, what we have found out today, as far as what is the state attorney's office trying to tell us, what do they want us to see? Bazard thinks they're going to possibly charge Jen. I wrote that Jennifer says in the first interview we heard that was a minute and 29 seconds, which I feel is most important because it's the shortest of the interviews. She says she heard her that morning getting ready on Monday, and she slept with her stepdad. And then Stephan references himself as stepdad or dad of sorts. Thinks of me as a dad. So he said she thought of me as a dad, and then quickly changes it to thinks of me as a dad. They collected the phone legally. And did she ever get into the back seat? Was she asleep the entire time? Violent crimes came in, and they refer to Jen Soto as wife. So that's what we have so far. They want us to see that Jen is lying. Is that what you think? I'm going to write that down too, Southern Cats, because I think that's a possible speculation. Why? Why do we need to know that Jen is lying? What are they going to charge her? Do they want us to know that they're going to charge her? The Hardy Girls True Crime, good to see you, said, I think they're going to charge, or I'm waiting for them to charge Jen Soto. Me too. I know a lot of you, we were talking about a lot of things in chat. I'm sorry if any of you have ever been through anything bad or had to go through, horrible situations. If you ever need to talk, you can email me, and you can also join our Discord. There's always people talking in there. So you always have support if you ever need to talk. Orange said impeachment. Catherine said she needs to be charged. Thank you, bad girl, for dropping that. Love to Hunt said, I hope they get her for continuing to lie to police, neglect, and child endangerment. I hope they do too. I do. She needs to be charged. With that, I'm going to go for the day because I do have some stuff to do, but I will be back tomorrow, and we'll continue going through trying to figure out what it is the state's attorney's office wants us to see. Thank you all for being here today. Thank you so much for your support. I can't express to you how much you guys mean to me. I love you all so much. I love our speculating family. You're all so kind and generous and sweet and supportive and loving and caring. And I really enjoy our time together. You guys make our channel great. Thank you so much. And I hope to see you all tomorrow. Have a good evening. It's Friday night, so enjoy your Friday. And I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye. Wrong one. Sorry.
Listen up, I gotta tell